Welcome to another episode of the Small But Significant Podcast. I'm your host, Derek Humphrey, with my co-host.
I'm your host, Jessica Vanskoy.
Why are you the host?
Why am I a co-host?
Because I'm the one who sets everything up and produces it all.
No, I'm the one that holds the conversation.
I think, according to the feedback, you're the one that drags everything down.
Whose feedback? Yours?
Everybody's.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule yet again.
You got it, babe.
To have this conversation with me where we recap our week by using
the 5-finger debrief.
The 5-finger debrief. Thumbs up for something good. Index finger for something that made you think.
Something you learned this week.
Middle finger for something that's bad. Ring finger for a promise. Pinky finger, something small but significant that happened to you. And this week, I jotted down notes so I wouldn't forget things.
I did too.
I good. That's great. We didn't consult about that at all
No, we
either.
didn't.
Great. It's great that we're simpatico.
I've noticed for other things this week we were simpatico as well.
Yeah.
So.
I've forgotten stuff that I wanted to bring up before. I never told you about the story that happened to me after the 9 Inch Nails concert?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I went to the 9 Inch Nails concert and I came back home and I got off at the train stop, 46th Street, with the friend that I went to the concert with who lives in our neighborhood. My buddy.
I was like, why'd you get off at 46?
Just to walk back. I went with my buddy Jess Levin, fellow New York comic. We went to go see 9 Inch Nails. And then we went to we just walked back together and I was just like, I don't know. I had energy from the concert. Maybe it wasn't after 9 Inch Nails. Maybe it was a different time now that I'm really thinking about it. But we went to the bodega. There's a bodega on like 45th Street and Skillman Avenue. And there were two. It was busy. It was weird because it was like kind of later at night, like 11 or so.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people that were in there for some reason. And there was this couple. I want to say a couple. Actually, there's a group of two friends who were in there, both older ladies, right? And I'm guessing, around 60 or so, because the one lady was white and she had like really gray and white hair, so I'm just guessing that she's older. She might only be in her 50s, but I don't know.
Okay.
And then from what I picked up from her conversation with her friend was staying with her and visiting her, and they were buying like groceries for the weekend or just stuff to snack on or whatever. But they didn't use a handbasket. And what they were doing was they were just walking through the bodega. It's like a mini grocery store.
Yeah.
And just picking stuff up and then walking it over to the counter.
Sure, I do that.
Right. Well, do you let other people ring out while you're grabbing your multiple things?
Of course.
Well, this lady, so let me finish.
Okay.
So there are a couple of us who are like waiting in line. And they are, and then, this one guy's like, okay, I'm going to just go. And there's the guy who's behind the counter. I don't know where he's from originally. Nice guy, but he doesn't interact a lot with people. He doesn't speak a lot of English. And he certainly isn't like down on whatever lingo people are kind of putting out there.
Yeah.
And so, and so there are like three of us in line, and the ladies are still kind of going back and forth or whatever, grabbing stuff and whatnot. And one guy goes up, he pays for his stuff, and then the other lady, one of the ladies, the black lady, walks up and she puts something on the counter, and she's like, "Oh, y'all just must have skipped me or whatever." Right.
Welcome to New York, bud.
And so then I'm next in line, right? And I go to put my stuff up on the counter, and the guy behind the counter says to them, because the one lady walks away to go get something else,
right?
Says, "Hey, next time you come in, use a hand basket and get all your stuff or whatever, and then bring it up at the end.
Yeah.
It's basically what he said, like in kind of a broken English or whatever. And this woman goes, "Oh, you're just saying that to me because I'm a black woman."
Oh, no.
And I'm just like kind of stop in the middle of my interaction. And she goes, "Oh, you want me to grab a handbasket? I bet you want to grab something else, don't you?" And the guy, and he just,
drunk?
I don't know. I don't know if she's drunk. I don't know if she's high or whatever. And the guy behind the counter is like, He's just like saying yes to whatever it is that she had to say.
Oh, no.
And I go, "Can I complete my transaction?" And I go, "Who are we mad at? I'm just here to check out. I'm just putting on my hands like I'm just here to check out.
Yeah.
Are we mad at me? Do I need to stop what I'm doing?" And the older white lady goes, No, just go ahead and check out. You can, you're already in the process of it or whatever. And the black lady just starts having a fit.
Oh.
Right. And so I just grab my stuff and I walk out. Levin walks out with me. And I'm like, "Okay, man, I'm going to get out of here because it's weird. And I'll see you later." And Levin lives right around the corner. And then I'm walking and I get down to the end of the block and I all of a sudden I hear those women just start screaming the N-word. Like,
what?
"It's because you think I'm a...
No.
Because I'm a..."
She had to have been drunk.
She was something. She was fucked up. She was crazy or whatever it was. And Levin texts me. She's like, "Are you hearing that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it might be directed at me. No, I don't know because this woman's crazy. I was just like joking it. Yeah.
Good Lord.
And I was like, I'm glad I got out of there or
right
whatever.
In time, it seems like.
Yeah. And I, I don't know what category that would have fallen under for the show, but it's just another like crazy, like sort of interaction that seems to only happen to me in New York late at night,
Well, it's funny because are we starting with thumbs up?
Sure.
Let's start with the positive. Part of my thumbs up was we had dinner with some old friends of yours last night.
Yeah, we did.
That was a lot of fun. And it was one of their first time coming to New York. And another person had kind of been here, but it seemed like not very much.
Yeah,
right?
In passing almost.
And they said we only saw somebody break the law one time. And I guess some homeless guy had stolen a woman's bag that she had put down.
Yes, I guess allegedly some lady had left Target bags on the street and walked away from him. And then a homeless guy came and grabbed the bags.
I mean, which tracks, right?
Yeah.
Like I could totally imagine that happening. But for somebody having been here only one day and seeing that, I've lived here 20 years and have never seen that.
I've seen like weird occurrences. Well, but the end of that story was that person got chased down and the person got their bags back.
Right.
Which was not, and it wasn't due to the cops. It was due to another person doing it. I've seen interactions like that, like on the subway and stuff like that. And like, I've been involved in melees and fights and whatnot.
No, same. But I've never seen, I guess like when I was living in New Orleans, if I can take a minute to share this story, because it's like one of these moments of my life where I was absolutely useless. But I remember I used to ride the trolley to work because I didn't have any money and it was only $1.25.
I didn't know they had a trolley there.
What? In New Orleans?
Yeah.
That's because I think the one time you went, you didn't get to see the good part of New Orleans. You only stayed drunk in the French Quarter.
We were there for a wedding.
I know, but you do not like New Orleans to this day because of that experience.
Yeah.
Whereas we did take the trolley. You don't remember doing that with a group of people?
No. No.
No, maybe we didn't at the wedding.
I don't think we did it at the wedding.
Maybe I'm combining it, other memories. But anyway, I was so broke during this time. And I worked down on Bourbon Street. So I would pay the $1.25 both ways to go because it was only $1.25. I wonder what it is now. Anyway, I remember getting off the trolley one morning. It's like 7 a.m. And this guy grabs this woman's purse. She would not let go of it, and it was on her shoulder. So he basically was picking her up and down to rip the purse away from her.
Oh, my God.
And I was just screaming, call 911, call 911. Like, I don't know why I couldn't have called. I don't think I had a cell phone at this point. Like, it was, early in my 20s, so cell phones were like, I was a late cell phone user.
Yeah, this is also 20 some years ago at this point.
Yeah. But I also was a late cell phone user.
Sure.
I didn't get my first cell phone, I don't think, until like 2004.
Okay.
So this is before then.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that was so traumatic for me. And some guy that looked like Kenny G chased this fucking big dude down, tackled him, got the purse back, and like held him down. And everybody was like cheering. It was great. But it was terrifying for me at first. It was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I've never seen something like that happen in New York. And so for that to kind of, I mean, not that this instance that they're talking about now is similar, but I guess, I mean, it's similar, but it's not the same, right? Like this was just like a homeless dude taking advantage of a situation, whereas mine was a little bit more of a violent takeover, right?
I saw one of those in Charleston.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So for them to see that within one day of New York, I was like, oh man, you know.
But they also conceded, at least one of them did that. They still felt safer in New York than they do in a lot of different cities in America.
Yeah.
Which is how I feel.
You said that though.
I said that.
They
agreed. Yeah, for sure. Because, you know, there are some cities that, even though they're small towns and that's where all the small town values are, they're still full of, you know, meth addicted, you know, whoever. And trying
sundowner towns. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, that was one of my thumbs up.
Yeah, it was nice to see friends. It was weird to have a Saturday off.
Yeah,
I normally do not have Saturdays off.
You really don't.
And it was really stressful at times. I'm still kind of feeling the effects, but whatever. But especially considering the week that I have, but we'll get to that during the middle finger part.
Is that the middle finger?
Yeah. I have two things, I guess, for my thumbs up.
I have more.
Well, mine are important. I'm just kidding. I was in a music video that was released this week.
Awesome.
That was pretty. Actually, I got an email that I wasn't. They sent out an email that to post all this stuff, and then I got a follow-up email, and I posted all this stuff for the music video, and then I got about an hour later, I got an email saying, "Oh, hey, take that stuff down and just share what they posted, and then repost it on Monday." And I said, "I'm not doing that."
Really?
Yeah, I just left it up. I was like, "If you guys, I'm giving you traction to your music video with my follower count, like." It's like when you do stuff like that, when you post something and people start to comment on it, and then you take it down, that throttles your algorithm even further. So you'll get even less reach than what you had before, is what I've been told. I don't know how accurate that is or not, but the song is kind of cool. I mean, like, I actually listened to some of their music, like, leading up to the music video. It's a group called Scuzzland.
Yeah.
And in the video, I get my face smashed into a copy machine by a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Which I got
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I got a couple of texts about that, you know.
Why?
One person wrote, "I think that cheerleader wanted a copy of you."
Okay.
Yeah. And I said I'd ask Jess if I could keep her.
Yeah.
And, you know, which I'm just joking with that person.
Of course.
You know.
It looked professionally done. It looked really good.
You know, here's the thing that was really cool about it was that it was, I looked at some of their social media and some of their music videos, and they still make actual music videos.
Cool.
You know, MTV is, I guess they're shutting MTV down.
All of MTV or just the video portion?
All of MTV. They're going to navigate all that other material that they have on there, like the challenge or road rules, to a different platform, I guess. I don't know all the details of it, but they haven't shown music videos in forever.
Yeah,
I don't know the last time I remember watching music videos on MTV was like 9/11. So it's been a while. And but they still are, I think this band still understands that, like, the video form lends itself to that, so to the music, and it helps kind of inform it a little.
Yeah, I think the clips on Instagram and stuff are probably helpful, and having it on TikTok and stuff, like, Videos are still in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah. What was your other thumbs up if you had one?
I have two small ones. One, I finally worked out this week. So I made it through. I did my goal. I did one workout.
You did. We did. We worked out yesterday.
I'm a little sore today. It feels good. It's a good sore.
My hip is hurting.
To working out tomorrow if you send me a workout.
Mm-hmm.
And then my third one is we spent a nice little chunk of our weekend finishing a show called Task, and I really enjoyed that. It was a thumbs up for me.
I know, I get it. No, you're right. We don't really get to spend a lot of time together doing innocuous, boring married couple things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It just was a nice lazy Sunday thing to do, like drink our coffees while we're watching this show. And it was a really good show. It made both of us cry at both points. Like,
I never cried.
Yeah. For very different reasons. It was kind of fun to discuss that. And it just kind of analyzed like the difficulty of like human morality. And it just was an interesting show. And I think it was well done.
It was well done. It was,
yeah.
I mean, it's HBO. It's generally pretty well done.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo starred in it. He was pretty great. And it hit a specific nerve with me because at the center of the story was like a young boy who was kidnapped, but like he was in a bad situation to begin with. Yeah. And part of the reason why Billy's getting fat is because I have this really soft spot for like Innocence Lost.
Yeah.
And I did not experience anything close to what this kid did.
Right.
Growing up. This kid had both of his parents murdered in an armed robbery, and then he was kidnapped by the guy because the guy didn't want to hurt the kid, and then the kid, eventually was relinquished into police custody. Spoilers, sorry, whatever.
Spoilers.
But anyways, but like just being in a negative environment, being alone, being isolated, having to go through facilities and institutions as a kid, like that really like resonated with me.
Yeah. And
the kid played like a 6-year-old, but he's probably 11 and in real life and he was a good actor. And it made me like I didn't have a consistent father figure till I was 12.
Yeah.
And so not having that in my life and then seeing what this kid is going through, the same thing in that sense was really, it really got me for sure. So my other thumbs up, which was kind of akin to yours, is I'm losing weight.
Yay!
Yeah, but
you're looking good. You're looking sharp.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not summer anymore, so I don't have to wear a hat while we record these because I was sweating so much before.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I probably look the same in on this stupid YouTube channel. But
what does a hat do? It makes you look bigger?
No, I'm just saying you said I look sharp. And I'm just saying like I'm just sweating less in general right now.
I'm talking about like how much thinner you look.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
My clothes are looser. Still have a long way to go.
Sure.
I had a goal set for Thanksgiving, but I think with the healthy amount of weight that I'm losing, because I'm losing it at a healthier clip than I have before.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I've done like crash diets.
Yep.
And now I'm just like, I think going to South America was a big help because we just ate like 3 square meals a day.
Yep.
And I was getting good, consistent sleep. So I'm trying to replicate that.
Nice.
And I'm not trying. The only thing I don't eat is bread. Okay. That's a big thing that I had to get out of. And I need to get sugar out.
Okay.
Yeah. But, I don't really drink. And so the sugar is kind of a substitute. Yeah. Got so, but anyways, so that's been nice. But yeah. What's made you think this week?
Something I've learned.
Oh.
When am I going to get you to like figure that out?
Never. It's going to continue to be my something made you think this week.
Well, what's something that made me think? That's a very different prompt.
It's one and the same. What's something you learned?
This one's kind of dumb and futile, but I had a paper due and I thought it was due Sunday night.
Oh yeah.
And then I saw the deadline. It was Friday. It just said Friday. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take advantage and just assume it's Friday at midnight. Because I'm like, that's still Friday, right?
Yeah.
11:59, still Friday. So I thought I would be able to work on it Thursday, but I came home Thursday. I was exhausted. Like it was 8:45 and I'm falling asleep trying to finish these readings and do these things. And I just said, I can't. Like I'm physically exhausted. And I went to bed at 8:45 on Thursday. It felt great. It was the first night's sleep that I'd gotten in a really long time. And I came home. I said, babe, can you please take Billy for a walk? You graciously took that task on. And I sat down maybe by 6 o'clock and I was kind of in a panic. Like, am I going to be able to get this done? And I banged that fucking thing out in 2 hours. It was great.
It was only 5 pages.
I know, but like.
I could do that.
How long would it take?
2 hours.
It would not take
no,
it would
take me forever.
Part of it was because I've taken a whole class on this guy named John Dewey. So I already had a lot of his quotes and a lot of like what he was talking about. And so I kind of relied on that, which is, did you know that you can plagiarize yourself?
Yeah.
I think that's
John
so
Dewey
dumb.
Invented the Dewey Decimal System,
Don't
for those of you
listen to
who
him.
don't know.
Derek's a liar. Yeah. So I learned this week that papers like that, I can just bang the fuck out. And I guess I intuitively knew it because I did wait until Friday afternoon to do it. But
Sure.
But that's who I am now. I just do papers on a Friday night instead of like going out to the bar.
I'd rather have you doing papers than
I
going to
know.
the bar. I don't go to the bar. So.
Only to find out today, I just realized, oh yeah, my other little response was due Friday as well. Still haven't done it. So I'm going to be banging that out after this podcast.
Great.
And we'll see if the professor even notices. I doubt it.
Mm.
What did you learn?
I never learn anything.
Just a hamster in a wheel.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I don't know if I would say that this was a learning experience so much, but it was maybe an exhibition of things that we've talked about for a long time. Insofar as I mentioned this last night, but I got a text from a friend in a friend group, and it was a screenshot from, I believe, a newspaper called the Washington Herald.
Okay.
Is that I know the
I have
Post.
No idea.
But have you ever heard of the Washington
No,
Herald? Okay.
No.
So and I Googled it, and I'm pretty sure it was the Washington Herald, but it was, of Zohran Mamdani.
Yes.
Who, and the caption was, Zohran Mamdani wants to do race-based tax system or whatever it might be. And I know the person behind this who's sending it to me is of the mindset that Zohran wants to raise the income tax 1% on white people. And so I had to respond back to this person and say, I don't know that I would trust the news source of where you got this, for one. And for two, what he did say was that he wants to raise the income tax on the richest 1% of New Yorkers, which I don't even know if he's correct about this, though, is mostly what he referred to were white neighborhoods. And I'll say this because Mamdani.
He referred to them as white neighborhoods?
He did, yeah. Okay. I did verify that.
Okay.
And then, so two things. One, I'm not in the top 1% income tax bracket. Sure. It doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Our neighborhood is not white. I mean, there's a lot of white people here, but we're also Asian, Latino, and then, half a mile away is a black neighborhood. And Greek. Yeah. Well, that's white. But it's that's
up for debate, but yes.
It's whoa.
But why would it's shocking to me that Mamdani would say that, because he's making it a race issue rather than a class issue. Why would he say that? Is interesting, and I haven't verified this. So
sure, I mean that's
is taken out of context.
That's a faux pas on him, though. No, I'm whatever. But here's the thing: is that one, it doesn't affect me. So, like, I think this person is saying it to like oh, look what's happening here. Look what you're going to have to do.
Your city?
What's happening to
they don't live in New York.
Yes,
Okay.
but what's happening to me specifically.
Right.
Because I'm white. And it's like, it's not affecting me for that too. And also, it does. Also, I think that Zoran might be mistaken because I've seen a lot of very rich minorities here, like living in, we went and purchased an item off the Facebook marketplace group from a person who lived in a very nice building in a very nice part of town who was not white at all.
No.
And I think that I think that in general, like Zoran, people should not talk about race in that capacity. They should talk about the economics of the situation.
Yeah.
And regardless of who has the most or whatever, because it also could be, I mean, I don't know how many buildings are in downtown Long Island City that are owned by, I think, Chinese interests that sit empty, that they're just tax shelters for billionaires.
Yeah.
Tax those people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Regardless of
their race.
I
really would want to look into that.
So, anyways, regardless of all of the of the nuances of that, because I wouldn't have necessarily fallen victim to that sort of thing, but I would have engaged in the discussion at a different capacity.
Interesting.
And I was just kind of like, I'm not going to get caught up in the fear mongering aspect of this.
Yeah, it's, I don't know if the audience knows. You certainly know that for like the last year, I've been studying logical fallacies, and included within logical fallacies are statistical misrepresentations, which is something that I've been very interested in for a very long time. I remember working at my last job, and I spoke with one of the math guys there, and these are really smart people, right? And I kept asking him, I remember asking him more than once, do you have good examples that I can use in my history class to show how statistics can be manipulated to convince somebody of an argument? And every time he'd be like, what are you talking about? That doesn't happen. And I'm like, what? And this is a very smart, very liberal person. So I thought, I was like, oh, it must be me. Like, I'm the one mistaken. And now that I'm studying these logical fallacies, I understand, I have examples of my own now. So I've collected them. Thanks anyway, dude, if you're listening. He's not. But anyway, I digress. In studying these logical fallacies, including statistical manipulations, it has made me realize that even though I am an intelligent human being, I am so fallible to these. I am so vulnerable to these still because I just don't have the logical brain, I think. I mean, I do to some extent, right? But I definitely am more emotional than I am logical, right? I don't have the logical brain to think through. Disrespectful.
No, I'm not disrespectful.
If I started laughing.
No. I'm thinking about, just keep making your point.
No.
Keep making your point. Go on.
Anyways, even though I'm studying this stuff, it is very difficult still for me to unpack logical fallacies. For instance, after Charlie Kirk was violently shot, they showed a clip of him, and I forget what he was talking about. I think you sent me the clip. And it really, what he was saying was making sense and it tracked. But then I saw a woman break it down and point out the logical fallacies and the statistical manipulations that he was using. I never would have found those things or thought of those things on my own. And I'm old and I've been around the block and I'm studying this stuff. So it's like, to some extent, yeah, I can see through titles or memes that sound like that, right? But even in watching that Charlie Kirk, I never would have thought through. And she made some incredibly salient points about what he was saying and how he was manipulating what was being said.
Yeah, because the couple we went to dinner with last night, we have a mutual couple that's in our friend group who we were discussing about how their politics have gotten very reactive over the last 8 years. And they talk about how, well, it really only happens online, that these people express these ideas and politics in that capacity. And that's where a lot of this just exists.
Yeah.
And my mindset is too, because I'm like cautious of the Zoran candidacy, and it's not only because the economic policies of some of these things just seem they're very well intended.
Yes.
All right. Now, my thing is like, if you don't live in New York City and you think that this is going to be like where the rest of the country is headed, like I said last night, it seems like he's going to be elected. And should he be able, without having any of his policies be deterred by the, Albany or the federal government or whoever might try to intervene, let's say he gets to actually enact his policies that he wants to see in place. And if it turns into a disaster, like these people are predicting, then you have your sample that you can point to and go, okay, we're not going to do this in our town now.
Right.
And in fact, New York will probably swing pendulously back in the other direction.
Absolutely.
Now, then if he does get to implement them and it turns into a success, then people can go, okay, that worked for New York. Let's try this somewhere else too.
Yeah, but my point last night, and I don't want to sweep it under the rug, is you're assuming that his policies are going to be enacted as intended, but we don't live in a vacuum. And there are so many politics and politician games that even when he gets elected, and I obviously I think he is definitely going to get elected, I think there are going to be, it's like whack-a-mole. Like anytime he bops down a mole, another one's going to pop up. It's like there is no way any of these people, and I'm talking Democrats and Republicans together, are going to let him do the policies that he intends unless he has like full backing by the state, by the federal, which is never going to happen, but also by the local governance. Mm-hmm. And that's just not going to happen. There's too many egos involved. There's too many like players trying to be that mole.
There was that city, there was a town that I think that it was a completely like libertarian town. Because I have on paper what would people would ascribe to libertarian sort of ideas or ideals, perhaps. Because you do want less infringement from the government in your day-to-day life. But there was a town that did that, and I guess like they didn't consider like things like trash pickup,
right,
or road maintenance,
right,
and stuff like that. And pretty soon, I think within a year, I should have looked this up before we started. I didn't know the conversation was gonna veer this way necessarily, but I think within a year, everybody and their brother was at each other's throats in this town because everybody was in a I'm in it for myself mentality.
Right.
Yeah.
The state of nature.
Right. Yeah. And I think there's no such thing as a libertarian utopia. There's no such thing as a communist utopia. I think what you have to do as an adult is try to find the center point between the two.
I agree.
Of which everybody is going to like kind of get along. So.
But even that's like hard to find that center point, not everybody's going to agree. There's just too many people. In smaller microcosms, things work, but not when it gets larger.
True.
Yeah.
Speaking of government, let's move on to the middle finger. Should I
Why
start
don't you
with mine?
start? Yeah, because that's a great transition.
I had jury duty this week.
Yes, doing that civic duty, babe.
Yeah, and it wasn't even jury duty. It was jury selection.
Right.
Jury selection took 4 days.
That's wild.
And it was crazy to me. I don't know if I'm allowed to comment on the case or not.
I don't.
I'm not going to. Yeah, because I don't. Yeah, whatever.
Yep. It's the last thing we need.
Yeah, it's the government coming and knocking on my door, and then where's your libertarian ideals now, buddy?
Right. Yeah.
But there were because I think we talked about this on last week's podcast, and you were like, "Oh, it's gonna be fun." I'm like,
"Yeah,
I know this is gonna be a bunch of bullshit."
I didn't say fun.
No, you knew I was gonna get a lot of stuff done.
You're gonna get done,
and I got some stuff done, but there was a lot of like getting jerked back and forth.
Yeah.
Throughout this process.
Yeah.
I was the last. So jury selection started on a Monday, which was your day off.
Yeah.
You had the day off. which that upset me because we could have just hung out together. I know you were working.
I had lots of work to do.
Whatever.
So.
It's just nice to be in the house together.
Sure.
And then I had to go in to go do this thing. And then, and so there were, I don't know, a few hundred of us who were in the jury duty, like, selection room or whatever. The funniest thing about it was, and this is speaking about people virtue signaling, was first thing in the morning, nine something in the morning, I'm in the very last row of people, and I'm out of like 30 rows, and I look up at the woman in front of me, and she's typing on her Facebook, immigrants can't get a fair trial in this country. And then she switched over to text message and texted a friend, I got to figure out a way how to get out of jury duty.
I can't.
and she kept going back to her Facebook to see how many likes it was getting.
Course.
Yeah, to get to check on the comments and be like, this is jacked up, or whatever. And it's like, right? And then she switched back text messaging. Yeah, I'm going to be like sick or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, you fraudulent bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, then out of these, we'll say 200 people, they called 40 names. I was the last name called.
Oh, man.
Yep. Had to go over to the courthouse, right? And then sat around there. I wrote some sketches. I texted some people. I submitted for some shows, did some work from my phone, did a little bit of writing or whatever. And then we got dismissed. Then I had to come back the next day. Sat around for a while, went into the courtroom. They interviewed 20 people. And then the next day we came back. They dismissed 12 of those people. Mm-hmm. And then we sat around there. We waited for hours, only for them to put us on a 2-hour break to come back, sit in the hallway, and then they didn't see us again. And so then the third day we go in, I finally get called. I'm the last person to get interviewed.
Right.
They ask me a series of questions about, they give you a piece of paper and you have to say your name, what borough you live in, neighborhood, what type of home you live in, right? So either private home, apartment. I said co-op.
Yeah.
Because I was like, is this a private home?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's also an apartment.
It's a home.
It's a home.
You're thinking of a house.
I know, but it's an apartment. We live in a 36 unit building. We have 2 bedrooms.
Sure. It's a private home.
We don't have a yard. Our yard is a community park.
A yard makes a home?
Sometimes.
Okay.
So anyways, I just didn't really know how to answer the question. And then they ask you, if you have kids and all these sort of things, and if you know anybody who's a cop, if you're a cop, or, and I was like, hey, I've known a lot of cops.
Yeah.
I have one of my cousins as a cop. My uncle was a cop. My uncle was a good cop. My uncle was like, I'm not a big fan of the police. I told this to the jury. I'm not a huge fan of police, but my uncle was a good cop. He was a good man, and he was a good cop. I think there are good cops.
Yeah.
Just I don't think that everybody, yeah. And the lawyer did ask, because there was one guy who was adamant. He was like, cops are a gang. He was like,
did
the cops
not say it like
that.
that.
Yeah. He said the cops are a gang.
Great.
He goes, that's just a gang, and it's just them sticking together or whatever. And the lawyer was like, he goes, well, you're like you're a gas station manager. Is every gas station manager going to think and do exactly what you do just because you guys have the same occupation? He goes, no. And he goes, well, do you think every cop is going to do and think the exact same way? And the guy's like, yep.
Yeah.
They dismissed him.
Well, he's not wrong. Where's the lie?
He is wrong.
No, I disagree.
We just watched a show
Yeah.
that you liked about how some cops are ethical.
Yeah.
And some are not.
Yeah.
And some do the right thing in spite of being the opportunity to do wrong.
I know, but that was fiction.
Oh my God.
We've also seen videos of cops just standing around while their peers are murdering another person, and they don't stick their necks out to say, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, but you also don't ever see the videos of showing the opposite. There is a bias in media to show the worst case possible out of any group of people.
Okay.
I'm not sticking up for cops 100% across the board, because I've been screwed over by cops before, but I still just, I don't know. I think this person was accused of a pretty heinous crime, and I think that for the prosecution to find 6 cops who are all gonna say and agree to cover up a conspiracy like that, I don't know. Who knows? Whatever. It doesn't matter. I got dismissed.
Yeah.
But it took them 4 days to dismiss me, and so it threw a real monkey wrench into my week this week in terms of like getting stuff done.
Sure.
I was going to shoot a sketch this week. I was going to go do a writing session with another sketch buddy I do sketches with. And it all got thrown down the drain because of that. And but now the good news is I don't have to do jury duty for at least 6 years.
Yep.
Next time, and hopefully in 6 years, I have more free time. When we were doing the jury selection and they had to ask people questions,
mm-hmm.
the judge would ask a guy a question. He would be like, do you have any biases? And the guy's like, yeah, I got biases against both sides. He's like, I don't trust cops. I don't trust this guy. Guy got dismissed or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I personally, when we got to the lawyering part where the lawyer was talking about, the difference between possession and ownership and who had what and at what time and things like that,
how words are defined in the law.
That was interesting to me.
Yeah.
If I had been, had to report to jury duty for 4 days to be a part of that aspect of it, I probably would be more keen on the process.
Yeah.
But the judge said from the outset, she goes, I expect the trial to go no later than the 30th of October, which would have been basically 2 weeks of jury duty. However, considering that the selection process took 4 days, I had no faith that it was just going to be the 2 weeks.
Right.
And it was going to be like 3 or 4 weeks of me having to go to the courthouse.
Yeah. When
I got stuff to do. I got gigs. I got, just can't help it. So so hopefully next time I get called, I have the free time. So I would like to take part in the legal process and the judicious process.
Yeah.
I do find it fascinating.
I do too. That's why I was like, when they dismissed me, I was relieved because it is a time consumer. But I was also sad because I would like to, I've studied law. That's part of like my profession as well. And so I kind of knew that they were going to choose you because you do look like a common everyday man, whereas I'm like a stank, like liberal white lady. So
there were dudes who looked so much more every day than me, and they got out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, one guy, he owns a laundry service over in Astoria, and he got out of it because one of the components of the case was mopeds. And
no more facts.
The guy was like, whatever. The guy was like, it'd take a lot of work for somebody to piece this together. But the guy was like, yeah, I don't like mopeds. And so he got dismissed based on that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what was your middle finger for the week?
Mine is my weird position of being both a student and a teacher at the same time. Currently, I'm in 2 classes as a student. Actually, technically 3, 2.5. One is a research component. All 3 of my fucking professors suck.
You're worried about me saying stuff, and you're going on record saying your professors suck.
I would say it to their faces after this semester ends. Like, they are unprepared. They're using material from 2002. Like, times have changed. They give no thought to what we're talking about or what the discussions are about. They cancel class. They make class. They assign readings right before class. really disrespectful things with my time. And it's been and then they take points off for like the dumbest things and like things, don't get me started. And then simultaneously, I'm that teacher to some of my students, right? They perceive me as not being prepared because I'm offering them choice, because I'm, saying, well, you can do this or you can do this. You know what I'm saying? So instead of them perceiving like, oh, she's giving me the freedom to learn about what I want to learn about. Instead, it's like, oh, she's lazy and she's not doing her job. She's just like making me do the research and me do the work, even though it takes more work to do that. But anyway, I digress. But right now, we've been working on this project for 3 weeks, my freshman. Hard deadline tomorrow. And I am getting emails on emails asking for extensions. And I'm saying no. I'm saying you can have your extension, but I'm taking points off for every day that it's late. Because part of their assignment this week is to watch the videos that they're producing. So they're fucking my timeline up. And then it's going to look like something that I did. And again, it is reflected on me. Right. So all this to say, my big fuck you is just to my students right now and to my professors, because it is a weird dynamic to know the feeling of both.
I hope that one parent that
that's going to be my pinky finger. We'll talk about that later.
I hope he emails you and be like, I heard you on the podcast.
Yeah.
Do you want to move to the pinky finger then? Or do you want to do the promise?
What, up to you? The promise to ourselves?
Sure. Let's do the pinky finger. Let's do the small but significant.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Well, you were just talking about the guy, so just do the.
Oh, that makes sense to just kind of transition. So, small but significant. Every year I do a donor's choose because, one, public schools don't have enough. Two, I am fortunate to work for a school where the parents do want to provide for their kids and they have the means to do so. I have a very big guilt complex about that as well, just having worked in other public high schools and knowing like how little other teachers can do this.
Right. Because the other schools that you worked at had different socioeconomic backgrounds for their parents.
Correct.
And they could not afford to fund something if they wanted to.
Correct. Yeah. So while schools funding in New York City is more equitable, meaning schools that have more needs get more funding, right? Mm-hmm. But so we might have less funding because we have less need, but we have parents that can compensate and complement that funding in a way that other schools might not have that capability.
Right.
So I have a big guilt complex about that, but it's not big enough that I don't ask for money every year. Right. Because my curriculum requires resources. Like I have them, like instead of just looking at pictures of terrace farming, I have them build a terrace farm. Right. And irrigation. What does irrigation look like? Right. And so I need to buy clay so that they can do that. Right. So that they can manipulate with their hands and learn that way rather than just looking at a textbook. Yeah. Right. So this year was kind of a big order. I kind of went for the gusto and didn't really feel bad about it, but this week, the terrace farming activity is coming up, and I'm like, the donor's choose hadn't been met. So for the third time, I sent out and was like, hey, please, if you can, we're this close to, making our donor's choose list wish come true. If you can, please donate. Every little bit counts. If you've already donated, thank you so much, etc. And it was already awkward to send that final email out because it just feels yucky, right?
Yeah. And everybody hates asking for money.
Yeah. And I have to be very explicit. Like, just because you're giving me money doesn't mean I'm going to treat your child any different, right? Because sometimes parents there expect the world. And in fact, some of the parents that did donate, their kids are failing. So they're probably getting that F grade right now as we speak. Yeah. But it's like, I can't, anyway, I digress. Sorry. That's the third time. Immediately get an email from a father of a child who is the sweetest, most angelic little baby in my class. The child.
Yeah.
And the father writes to me, I will never give you money. Don't you ever write to me again asking for money.
Yeah.
And I had one of the worst days. This was Thursday. This was when I went to bed at 8:45 because that afternoon I had to stay late. I think you ended up taking Billy for a walk because I stayed so late because I was talking to a mom for an hour and a half with my co-teacher trying to explain why her son was failing. Then I had another mom write us an email immediately saying, you're making my daughter cry herself to sleep every night. Can I come in person and discuss this with you? And then I had this paper due. And then I got this email and I just lost it. Like I started crying. I was like, because crying is not like a sad thing for me. It's an anger thing as well. Like when I'm so angry.
Yeah, that's me too. I'm the same way.
When I feel powerless, right? And it's like a powerlessness. I cry and I immediately, so the small but significant was one, within 10 minutes, that thing was funded. So to this guy, fuck off. You're a dipshit, right? But the other thing was immediately I showed my husband and I sent it to my co-teacher. And within minutes, you both were on social media, researching this guy, coming back to me, telling me all this shit. Like my co-teacher's popping off in my text messages, like, look at this and sending me screenshots. And then you're like, I'm going to fuck this guy up. And so it just felt good to be like,
I know what he looks like. I know where he works.
Well, where does he work, babe? This is something you and my co-teacher simultaneously found out.
Well, we can't talk about where.
I thought you were going to talk about how he was on OnlyFans.
Oh,
I'll say it.
Yeah. He definitely doesn't work for OnlyFans. I'll tell you that by the size of his penis. Yeah. He. I won't go into detail about the guy, but I did look the guy up. I think he's single. I think his like. I don't think he raises the child.
Yeah, I don't think he's in her house.
And it's one thing, if I can comment on this situation.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, the taxes that you pay that go into the school system are used to fund whatever it is that you might need or that the child needs to learn and succeed and move forward in a very competitive world. And I'll say that you teach at a very prestigious school.
Sure.
And that there are, and a lot of the students probably do have the means to succeed in life moving forward.
Yes.
However, there are people who still have more, who have more access.
Yeah.
Who can set people up, and it's just hyper competitive.
Yeah.
And there are also probably parents out there who wish that they could fund even more for their students, who wish that they could create this kind of equity or who could create this kind of environment.
Yeah.
And I understand that, like I pay taxes towards schools
and we don't have
any kids. Yeah. So in theory, as we talked about the libertarian thing, it's like, I want my money back.
Sure.
However, I'm fine to contribute a little bit of money to make sure that like kids, that we don't have uneducated people running around.
Correct.
And causing crime and, and whatever else.
Yep.
And do I think there's 100% return on that investment? Not necessarily.
No.
But I do. The thing is, what this guy should have done was taken your email, moved it to the spam folder, and then you would not hit your email would never show up in his inbox again.
Ever. Yeah.
But for him to take the time and do that, shows what a pathetic fucking little dick loser he is.
Dick loser.
And he, I looked him up on Instagram. No followers to speak of. He's not cute. He's in okay shape for being he's in good shape, honestly, for being a dad. But the first picture that you see is a picture. He took like a screen, like a reverse, like a selfie, but it was only of his bicep and his nipple. And then it says, if you want the lower half, look on my OnlyFans. There were no likes on that post.
Yeah.
There were no likes on that post. You go to his OnlyFans. There's no subscribers to it.
Oh man.
It's like I'm in, and I might be his first.
Does that mean you have an OnlyFans account?
No.
Oh, you can just like look
you
that
could just
stuff
you
up?
could just kind of look that stuff up. Yeah. OnlyFans. And here's the thing too: is OnlyFans is a paywall.
Yeah.
But it doesn't prevent people from seeing what's behind there.
What?
So if I have an OnlyFans,
I think Derek has an OnlyFans. He's just not copping to it
no,
today.
No. I know.
That's where all your money goes, babe.
Yeah. No, I'll say this, and you're not gonna like this, but I know I know a few women comedians who would not be making a living in comedy if they didn't have an OnlyFans.
Good on them.
Sure.
Make that money. Make that cheddar, girl.
Yeah. Well, guess what? I still get to see your vagina for free.
Ew.
Because all you gotta do is take a screenshot of it and then send it to somebody else. And now
so people are doing, so they're paying for it and then sending it to you.
I've only ever seen one.
One vagina.
Yeah, I've only ever seen one, and the reason why,
like wide open. Really?
Yeah, and
Jesus.
And a friend of mine who you love, he sent it to me.
No.
Well, he showed it to me, but and he paid $20, so now it's actually for that one photo. So now it's only worth 10 because
yes, I can do the math, babe.
Anyways, well, here's the thing though: is I do have friends who are on there. And I know that their stuff is out there in the wild. I don't look it up. It's not my business. I didn't pay for it. And in theory, as much as I don't agree with, there are some very funny comics who do have the OnlyFans to supplement their comedy career.
Right.
There are some women on there who are not funny at all, and that's all they get money for.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's a different landscape now. Comedy isn't just about comedy anymore.
Yeah.
All that to say, is that you can subscribe to this guy's OnlyFans and you could pay to look at his little dink.
Yeah.
And then you can screen cap it. And then you could take a screen cap of his email.
Yeah.
And a screen cap of his little dink. And then when his daughter goes to college, you can email it to her.
Don't you dare. She's sweet.
And be like, look what your dad was doing instead of funding your education.
Right.
He was trying to post little dick thirst traps. And being rude to my wife who just wants to make you a better equipped for this world.
Yeah, by building a terrace farm out of clay.
I mean, listen, when I had teachers who would take that level of investment, those were the teachers that had the most effect on me out of anybody.
Yeah.
And so, you know, whether or not you agree with the public education system in and of itself, we do live with it.
Yeah.
And I think that if there are people who are very passionate about it, there's a lot of shitty teachers. Just like there are shitty cops, there are shitty teachers, there's shitty firefighters, there's shitty comedians, there's shitty everybody.
Yeah.
But I think it's and this person, they're whole cloth like just ascribing you to a type of person.
Yeah, I mean, and then part of it was a little triggering too, because I did send this email out at maybe 6:00 at night. So for him to immediately respond like that, it reminded me of my own father.
Who was an alcoholic.
He was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And he would pop off when he was drunk. And sometimes he would tell me about it, and I would be absolutely mortified. And then I think sometimes I'm like, there must have been so many other times that you did this and you never told me about it.
Which is why I got to let his daughter know.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, save her at all costs because she's me, right? Like, for instance, I used to work for a publication in Charleston, and there was a guy who was my editor that we both know.
Oh, yeah.
My dad told me one time he got so drunk, he called and left a voicemail on this guy's voicemail machine back when we had like answering machines, right?
Yeah.
Telling him to fuck off and how dare he treat my daughter. And I was like, and I've never been able to confirm that with this person, but I believe it because that is something my dad did. And yeah, he also, when I was in 8th grade, in front of this guy that I thought was cute, told this guy that I thought he was cute, which 30 years later, I'm like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But as a 13-year-old girl who's like just gotten her period and has acne, you know what I'm saying, and bangs, like it was mortifying. So like I like especially want to love on this girl and make sure she's taken care of.
Sure,
because she is me.
Because her dad is not.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying that he's an alcoholic, but that was very
his pictures on
indicative.
his Instagram, a lot of them had alcohol in
I'm
it.
sure.
Yeah.
So that even that response was, it just reminded me of my dad.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
He could just be angry because his dick is so small. You never know.
I think when you edit this podcast, you should have a counter for how many times you've mentioned his little dick.
Oh, I'm not editing that part at all.
No, I meant like have a counter, like ding.
Oh, sure.
Anyway, what's your small but significant, babe?
Oh, so after a show one night, a comic approached me, and this comic is a director, producer, and a writer. They also, do stand-up comedy. A lot of comics are not just comics. Like they, write
of course.
Scripts or whatever.
Yeah.
I act.
Yep.
And, there are very few people who just purely do stand-up and then that's it anymore. But anyway, so this guy came up to me and he came up to me, was so sweet, and he goes, "Hey, I never told you this before." He goes, he's like, "I have an idea for a TV show." And he said, I go into pitch meetings and I pitch this idea for a TV show. And I don't want to say what the idea is because I don't want to give this guy's IP away.
Yeah.
But it's basically centered around kind of an everyman guy or a common sense person. And he goes, "I use your picture, in your acting reel in every pitch I use."
Wow.
As the type of guy that I want to have be in this show.
That's outstanding.
And
what a compliment.
It is a compliment.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Obviously he hasn't been picked up because I haven't called you." And he goes, "I've never told you this before."
Yeah.
He goes, "You are just exactly what I'm looking for out of basically what would be the centerpiece of the show." I wouldn't say it would be the star of the show.
Yeah.
But it would be one of the most integral characters to the show. And it was really, because comedy and arts, and I think everybody's job in general, it goes really up and down.
Sure.
You could be a hotshot lawyer, and then the next thing you know, you're getting sued by somebody, or you lost a case, and then you're down in the dumps.
Yep.
Like, I have an uncle who's super successful in business. He's very well off. I mean, he's well off. I don't know the extent, but just knowing him and knowing what a shark he can be.
Yeah.
And you think all the time, like, his life has been gravy, it's been great or whatever. And then my cousins would be like, "Nah, man, he would get mad."
Right.
And he would have some really bad days. And you never really think about that. You're like, "Oh no, I drove my Volvo home to my perfect home and my perfect family." And that's not the case at all.
Right.
So everybody experiences this. But, as an artist, especially right now with everything kind of going on and where I'm at personally and professionally, hearing something like that kind of keeps me going.
Yeah, it absolutely should. And that's what I keep telling you is like, you never know who is going to land that next like movie deal, who's seen you and knows you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I don't know why this has come up in my brain, but I am compelled to say it. But when I saw you acting in, and I forget the name of it, it was Graham's, the bowling short vid.
Oh, Matt Ott's.
Matt Ott's. What was it called?
The Alley.
The Alley.
Yeah.
The character you played in that and how you played that character convinced me when 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
I was like, yes, like I'm all in. This guy is you are a character.
Yeah, no,
and you were that character. You have been other characters since.
Sure.
That some farcical, right? Some I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. But other times I'm like, oh, I see you as this guy. You are this man.
Sure.
So I completely understand what he's talking about because I saw that 10 years ago in you. That's the only reason I'm like, yep, keep doing it. Keep it on, babe, because I know you have it.
Thanks. You know what's funny about that? I just realized this too.
Yeah.
Is that somebody who was in that web series with me is in the new Bradley Cooper movie.
Don't tell me
It's well, no, it's just like it is. It just goes to show how close you are.
Sure.
You know, I was in our friend Evan's pilot for his web series, and one of the people in that pilot stars on Abbott Elementary.
Wow.
Right now. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Janelle's in it.
Oh, Janelle. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're good. Yeah, you were friends with her, so that makes sense.
And you know, and like I've been in some of these. Also, in that pilot was a guy. His name's Greg Hoffman. And I remember watching the pilot with Evan and Dusty one night at Evan's apartment.
Yeah.
And I looked at Greg. Greg just had this one scene in it, in this office thing. And he had never acted before. And I said, Greg has got something. Yeah. Now Greg is in a bunch of commercials.
Wow.
He completely he's got a family. He moved up to Connecticut. And we chit chat back and forth and stuff like that. He follows the NFL fan therapy thing.
Oh, I love you in that.
And
I just think that's great.
Thank you. And and this is a guy who never, I think, acted at all before. And I said, Greg's got something. Yeah. And you can see it in people sometimes. And now that's what Greg does for a living. Yeah. And so, I mean, I think he does other stuff too. Everything's a hustle now. But like, you know, you are kind of reminded that you can be like one step away from.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it was just really nice. It's nice to be thought of, like, you know, it's nice to just have people want to work with you or reference you in that capacity. And these are things I've always felt about myself. But the thing I've realized over the years is sometimes it's me who gets in the way. Sometimes it's a pandemic who gets in the way. Sometimes it's other people's interests or what, you know, maybe they have a relationship with somebody else. You never fully know.
Supply, right? Like supply and demand.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that was really nice to hear. It was small, but it was significant.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. A promise to ourselves.
What's your promise?
Let's wrap this big bad boy up. So I think I have to mention Billy, I think at least once every podcast. So my promise is to her. You know, when I got Henrietta, she was an English bulldog, and I knew she was going to have a lot of health issues. I immediately got health insurance. And that was a lifesaver, literally, for us and for her. Yeah. And I still have not gotten life insurance for Billy. And I promise that I will figure out which life insurance to go with sooner rather than later. Because I really want to get her in a vet. I want to make sure she's healthy. I want to try and find like more natural ways to like alleviate the separation anxiety. So.
Oh yeah, she gets so anxious. Yeah.
And we have this one medicine, but it just fucks her up. It like dopes her up, and then she's like mad at us afterwards. And I'm like, we're mad at us too.
I get it. I don't like medicine. I don't like the way medicine makes me feel. Right. I know it's really like a crappy thing to say, but I get hangovers from medicine.
Interesting.
I was taking heart medication for a while, and it would make me sick. Yeah. I never have responded well to medication.
Interesting.
And my mom told me a long time ago I used to be allergic to a specific type of medication. And I kind of wonder if and she says it's out of manufacture now, but I just kind of wonder in general, like maybe I'm just allergic to medication.
Maybe.
I don't like it. Yeah. You know, so... you know, that's, we've done I think you especially have done a great job in spoiling Billy. And, I was just looking at videos of her this morning and seeing where she's come from as far as like her being so emaciated and so sick and then like, you know, neglected. And then she was obviously very scared of people for a while. Yeah. And she was at a point where she would just have to kind of rest all day. Yeah. Because she didn't have enough strength and muscle to like run about. Yeah. And now we can't get her to sit still. Except for this. This has been, yeah. I mean, you took her for a really long walk this morning. But
no, not even.
Actually, wasn't that
yesterday?
Really?
2 really long walks.
Oh, yeah.
I think today she's just kind of recuperating.
I played pretty aggressive with her this morning.
You did. That was great.
Yeah, but and when Henrietta got sick a couple years ago now, and we took her to the emergency vet hospital. And we thought we might lose her.
Yeah.
We, thankfully we didn't. We had a whole extra year and a half with
her
we did. After that. And I think had we not had the means, so I'll never forget that moment just because like Henrietta was really drugged up.
Yeah.
But then she was like kind of coming through the fog and she recognized me. And I'm not saying that as a brag.
Yes, you are.
She didn't remember you, but... She remembered me for
sure. The one person that like fed her and nursed her and not nursed her. Cut that out.
I nursed her.
No.
I let her chomp on my tip.
I meant like took care of her when she was sick, like gave her all the medicine, did all the things.
Yeah.
I literally had to wipe her down every day. But no.
I also did that. Thank you.
That's true.
I did.
What's your promise to yourself?
Oh, I promise to let you win. I have discovered, or I think through some self-reflection, I think that we are both fairly competitive people.
Mm.
And I think sometimes because I get to be very... kind of, lack of a better term, insecure or just down on myself about where I might be at emotionally or career wise or monetarily or various ways in which I'm like not feeling it about myself because things are not going super great at the moment. That whenever we joke back and forth about things, that I take it way more serious and personal than you might. And it's not so much, I would say, letting you win, just so much as recognizing that, like, you are just saying this thing in jest.
Yeah.
And that you're not necessarily trying to be mean about something.
No. It's not.
I would say not necessarily. I'd also say it's not 100% of the time that you're not either.
Okay.
So, but I guess the promise is to like try and discern between the two a little bit more accurately.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, which is I'm proud of myself for coming up with this on my own and not having to have it be.
Yeah, you really came up with that on your own.
You didn't know I was going to say right there, did you?
No.
All right.
But you didn't come up with it on your own. That took an hour of therapy for you to start off saying, this is what my wife does. And can you believe she's like this? To by the end being like, oh, well, maybe it's because of how I'm feeling and where I'm at.
No, you know what? I take it all back. I take it all back.
He's going to edit that part out.
Yeah. Thank you for agreeing with me that I'm right 100% of the time, and that's been the episode. So.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And
yeah, you better be appreciative.
And I am going to not kick you while you're down. Too late.
It's going to be a first for everything.
Anyways.
Well, you have to help me with an audition.
I do, but first, it's Billy time.
You don't think you could take like 10 minutes? And just
but your hair's not dry.
It is dry. It's so dry. It's as dry as it's going to get because I need to get that done because I got to get out of the house.
I know, but you don't want to rush it.
I know. But, we'll talk about this off camera.
Let's do that. Anyway, thank you for joining us. If you've made it this far, I'm going to send you a prize for my daughter's shoes. Just kidding.
If you made it this far, leave a comment.
Yeah,
I'd be interested in knowing the metrics of this.
For real. Sure. Interact.
I'm gonna have to start putting those podcasts out on Apple Music and Spotify so other people listen to it. Because
let's not do that until we have a third person, like a draw.
No. Anyways, that's been the episode. I've put my foot down. I've been Derek. Have a great one.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.